Hitesh Jain of the BJP on the phone line right now. Mr. Jain, as my colleague Kajal was suggesting right now, that the Mumbai police can always come out and clarify what these call data records are all about. If she was in fact in touch with the Mumbai police for her first questioning that happened immediately after. But we haven't gotten those answers. At the very least, prima facie, it does look extremely non-kosher that the man in charge of the inquest was informally in contact with the person of interest, which happened to be Rhea Chakraborty. This does put the Mumbai police in the dock. Pending clarification, of course, I'll put that caveat.
Well, it's been over 45 days and the Mumbai police has not been able to conclusion one way or the other. I mean, their conduct and the investigation is asking so many questions. And because the investigation is asking so many questions, the whole investigation is appearing to be suspicious and doubtful. This is a basic criminal investigation required to find out the details about CDR, postmortem report, etc. All these facts clearly justify that the decision to refer to CBI is a correct decision. And the Mumbai police, in fact, if they want to prove that their conduct is clean and their investigation is clean, they should rather cooperate and allow the CBI to investigate the matter properly. Because the more Mumbai police is going to resist the investigation, it will ask so many questions, it will create a lot of doubts, and they will keep, and it is in fact, what will happen is Mumbai police is going to keep themselves in the dock. I'm making this statements very responsibly. The conduct of Mumbai police is clearly doubtful, suspicious, and the very fact about this call data records and in fact one should also ask for the station diary and whether the station diary has made a recording of this calls that were made. So all these facts requires a proper, thorough investigation.
Mr. Jain, are you willing to go on a limb here and suggest that these two calls, incoming and outgoing, also there's a message that has been exchanged between Mr. Trimukhe, who is the top cop with the Mumbai police, Bandra DCP at the time, and Rhea Chakraborty. Are you willing to say there is an innocent explanation into this, or do you think we're way beyond innocent explanations now?
Well, after 45 days, it is doubtful whether the explanation is innocent. If this information would have come forthcoming, or if they would have explained the fact, one could have understood. But the manner in which Mumbai police has resisted the investigation, have not conducted the proper investigation, according to me, then definitely questions can be asked from the Mumbai police.
Do you think the Mumbai police still has time to come out and clarify if they wish to say something about these call data records, on their authenticity, number one, also on why exactly were those calls made and why was Mr. Trimukhe in fact entertaining calls for somebody who was being looked at as a person of interest? I don't call her an accused because the Mumbai police did not treat her as an accused initially in their own investigation. Do you think Mr. Trimukhe or somebody from the Mumbai police still should come out and say what was the nature of those calls?
I think now whatever they will have to give the explanation, they will have to give to the CBI, because of course CBI will also investigate as to whether an attempt has been made to destroy the evidence, or whether there have been people from the administration also involved in protecting certain people. So I think Mumbai police has lost the opportunity to explain the facts. I guess the Home Minister was acting as a statement minister instead of Home Minister. He was making left, right and center statements, but he never spoke about the CDR. So now that the matter has been transferred to CBI, so let the CBI investigate. If Mumbai police wants to come clean, they should cooperate in the CBI process. They should not fire the shoulder from the fire the gun from the shoulder of the state government. It is in their interest that there is a cleaner investigation. Otherwise, the role of some of the officers of Mumbai police will also be very suspicious and doubtful.
All right, Hitesh Jain, very clear in what he thinks should happen now. He says there should be, in fact, some sort of clarification from the Mumbai police, even though it's a bit too late now, given the fact that the initial probe, the inquest proceedings already, to certain people's minds, since I'm not a criminal expert, are already tainted, so to say. Thank you, Hitesh Jain, for joining us. Rajullah still on with us on the broadcast. Rajullah, we were talking about, before I interrupted you, about the conversation you had with Mr. Dahiya. You, of course, put to him the question about OP Singh contacting the then Bandra DCP, which happened to be Mr. Dahiya himself, and he said that particular question is irrelevant given the fact that there was no written complaint. Now, more and more aspects of this case, developments in the case now, and investigative reporting by Times Now reporters has also shown that there is that particular seed of doubt in the minds of most people who are following the case, and it is very, very difficult for the Mumbai police to explain. They still can explain, of course, why the person in charge of the investigation was in contact, informal contact with a person of interest like Rhea Chakraborty, but they haven't done so till now. Any news, Vajiullah, on whether or not the Mumbai police is interested in at least coming out with the version of why Mr. Trimukhe was in contact with Rhea Chakraborty, what was the nature of those calls, what was the nature of the message, and whether or not they did discuss the case?
Well, we'll just have to wait and watch for that because we haven't got any communication from the Mumbai police as of now. But if you remember, when we broke the WhatsApp messages of Paramjit Dahiya and OP Singh, it was immediately in an hour or two we got the response of the Mumbai police in the statement of Mumbai police, where they categorically said that they wanted a written complaint from OP Singh, and which they did not receive. So we should wait and watch for the Mumbai police to give their response into this. But this is really shocking, and this is something that has to be investigated. That if Rhea was having a conversation with the DCP, what was it all about, and what was the conversation, and when was the conversation? These things should be clarified, because there has been aspirations, there has been question over the investigation done by the Mumbai police from the beginning itself. We've seen how angles have changed since the Bihar police have intervened into this entire investigation. Before the Bihar police intervened, the investigation that the Mumbai police was doing was only on the basis of insider, outsider, basically
right.
On Twitter, on the tweets that we were seeing on how nepotism is an angle, groupism is an angle. We saw how big producers, directors were questioned in this regard. And now when the Bihar police intervened, the entire question of the financial angle came into the question, and all these angles came after the Bihar police intervened. So questions have been raised on the investigation
so
of
I
the
feel
Mumbai
one
police.
particular question that must be answered by the Mumbai police without any delay is, one, when exactly did Mr. Trimukhe speak to Rhea Chakraborty? What are the dates as far as those calls are concerned, and whether or not they happened, how much after Sushant's death did these phone calls take place? There could be, like I said, an innocent explanation, but till the Mumbai police does give us or prefer a clarification, questions of course will be raised, and they're all pertinent, very valid questions. Please stay with us, Vajiullah. We'll have to take another short break on Times Now. More details on the other side. Do stay tuned.